Earlier this week, after he had endorsed Donald Trump last week, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. promised us that there were scores of Democrats that were this week, by the way, going to come out of the woodworks to support and back Donald Trump for president, just like Bobby himself did. Well, we're still waiting on it. Hasn't happened. But let me tell you about things that are real instead of things that are fantasies of people who have clearly sold out. Because what's real is that even though there are not scores or even really numbers of Democrats coming out to endorse Donald Trump, there are literally hundreds of former Republican officials who have now come out openly, publicly, proudly to endorse Vice President Kamala Harris for president. In fact, according to a new report from the USA Today this week, more than 200 former staffers from Republican presidents George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush, along with staffers from John McCain's campaign in 2008 and Mitt Romney's campaign in 2012, more than 200 of them publicly came out and endorsed Kamala Harris this week. Let me read you this. Among those who signed the letter in support of Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, include former McCain Chiefs of Staff Mark Salter and Chris Koch, Joe Donahue, former legislative director for McCain, Jennifer Lux, press secretary for McCain's 2008 campaign, and Gene Becker, longtime chief of staff for George H.W. Bush. Also backing Harris are David Nierenberg, Romney's 2012 campaign finance chair, David Garman, undersecretary of energy for George W. Bush, and Olivia Troy, a former advisor to both George W. Bush and Vice President Mike Pence. In total, 5 former aides to former President George H.W. Bush total signed on to this letter, and then you had more than 200 others. So let me put this another way for y'all. While Republicans are out there fantasizing that maybe some Democrats are going to defect and go to Trump, we're actually seeing publicly Republicans defect from Trump and go to Harris and Walz. Okay, we don't have to imagine things over on our side. We don't even actually have to hype them up. Honestly, let me ask you this. Did you see this report this week before I talked about it here? Had you heard that this happened? Probably not. I only saw this because it happened to be posted on Reddit. If it hadn't been there, I also would not have seen it. I would not have known about this momentum from these established Republican players endorsing Vice President Harris. Because they don't have to hype it up. They don't have to look at us, look how great we are. We're getting all these Republicans. We're so much better than you. They give the nod and they say, thank you, we appreciate it, and the support continues. That's what's remarkable. They don't have to make a big splashy show of things. They don't have to try to convince people to join the bandwagon. People are just joining it anyway, even if they don't know that there is, in fact, a bandwagon at this point. But clearly there is. So you can either fall for the hype that Republicans and the Trump campaign are trying to sell you, which of course is not rooted in the bedrock of reality, or you can take the quiet cool of the Harris-Walz campaign because they're doing everything right and getting all the benefits, even if they're not out there bragging about it every day. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.